California after retiring from a film career that touched almost all of our lives. His was a true American success story. Capra was born in Sicily in poverty and emigrated with his family at the age of 6, settling in Los Angeles. Though educated as an engineer and a World War I veteran, he answered an ad and promptly became a director in the newly expanding film industry. Many of his films depicted patriotism and good old American values. In a 1982 interview with Entertainment Tonight, Frank Capra spoke about why he felt such a passion for America.
We're very proud. We're very proud of our country. We should be very proud of our country. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it in the world. And if we aren't proud of this country, then we don't deserve living here. Because we have what is most dear to us, freedom. Freedom, and we are important as individuals. We're not kicked around. We are kings.
In the Great Depression of the 1930s, during World War II, in the 40s, the films of Frank Capra captured the American spirit and spread hope from the movie screen. Frank Capra's movies are still popular. They never went out of vogue. And Leonard Maltin is here now to tell us why. Leonard.
Well, John, Frank Capra had something rare in Hollywood, a vision, a set of ideals that he wanted to express in his films. He knew that preaching wouldn't win him any kind of an audience, but entertainment would. Entertainment that also had something to say. He said it, people listened. Some call his brand of filmmaking Capricorn, but he didn't mind. The audience was all he cared about.
That's what's got to be in it.
What?
The Capitol Dome.
On paper?
I want to make that come to life for every boy in this land. Yes, and all light it up like that, too.
The art of Frank Capra is very, very simple. It's the love of people. And add two simple ideals to this love of people: the freedom of each individual and the equal importance of each individual. And you have the principle upon which I've based all my films.
From on-the-job training and the silent film comedies of Mack Sennett, Frank Capra developed his own voice and his own style of movie making. He became the king of the fledgling Columbia studio and led them to heights of success they'd never known before.
Next time you drop in, bring your folks.
In one night, It Happened One Night won Oscars for 1934's Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. The first time in Academy Award history one movie swept the competition. Ironically, neither Clark Gable nor Claudette Colbert had wanted to make the simple tale of a know-it-all reporter entangled with a runaway heiress. Capra followed that smash with another gem, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, starring Gary Cooper as a simple man who inherits a fortune and, to everyone's astonishment, decides to give it away.
Carl. Get lunches for the rest of them.
What? There must be 2,000 of them out there.
Well, that doesn't make them any less hungry.
The film earned Capra his second Oscar as Best Director and coincided with his presidency of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Capra left his homegrown turf to tell the mystical story of Lost Horizon.
I am placing in your hands the future and destiny of Shangri-La. I knew my work was done when I first set eyes upon you. I've waited for you, my son, for a long time.
Then he won an incredible third Academy Award for directing You Can't Take It With You, which also earned an Oscar as Best Picture. But the Capra touch shined even more brilliantly when Mr. Smith went to Washington.
All right, sir, I guess I'll just have to speak to the people of my state from right here. And I'll tell you one thing, the wild horses aren't going to drag me off this floor until those people have heard everything I've got to say, even if it takes all winter.
Jimmy Stewart's idealistic hero seemed to speak for Capra himself, but soon the director's love of country was put to an even greater test. America's entry into World War II. Frank Capra marched out of the studio, quickly enlisting in the U.S. Army. As Major Frank Capra, he produced a series of wartime documentaries that captured both the military's attention and the audience at large. His Oscar-winning series, Why We Fight, explained just that. Capra showed why America was in the war, utilizing captured enemy footage to powerfully bring the real story of war back home.
What they are really, they're 90% enemy films. Their films. you show them their propaganda for your propaganda. And it came off beautifully because we couldn't possibly, there's no way we could make films that could touch the stuff they had.
After the war, Capra picked up where he left off in Hollywood and made more crowd-pleasing hits. In the 1950s, he turned to television, writing, producing, and directing the popular Bell Science series. But of all Frank Capra's films, there remains one which most consider their favorite. And though it wasn't successful when it was first released in 1946, It's a Wonderful Life remained Frank Capra's favorite, too.
No man is a failure who has friends. That's the message that we learn at the end of It's a Wonderful Life. And Frank Capra made friends around the world with those incredible movies he did.
It's a Wonderful Life touched me more than any film I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. And it
Thanks,
was his
Lenny.
all the way.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
It's amazing. His revealing evening gown and the purported attempt to ensure her ample assets.
Aren't you gonna frisk me?
According to a new unauthorized Madonna biography, makeup men considered the drastic measure of gluing Madonna's breasts to her low-cut gown to keep them from falling out during the filming of this scene in Dick Tracy. And the book claims Madonna so feared an allergic reaction to the glue, she tried to insure each breast for $6 million. And according to Dick Tracy's special effects makeup man John Caglione, at least parts of this whole tale are indeed true.
At one point, she lifts up her arms, and when she did this, her breast would be outside of the dress, and the wardrobe people, Warren would yell, "Cut!" and Madonna would say, "I can't help it, Warren."
The book claims Madonna was literally glued into her dress, but Caglione says it never got that far. The wardrobe department was brought in when no one was certain if the glue would be safe.
We didn't know if the glue would make her break out, because the skin on your chest is a lot different than your face or your hands where we put this glue.
Madonna released a statement to Entertainment Tonight saying of the book's version of events, none of it is true. And Caglione, who won an Oscar for his Dick Tracy prosthetics, has nothing but praise for Madonna.
To tell you the truth, I really wasn't a big Madonna fan until I saw her working on Dick Tracy. And I have the utmost respect for her now. I mean, she really did a lot of work on Dick Tracy, and I thought she was very good.
I want more.
Caglione was one of the several Dick Tracy colleagues interviewed by Christopher Anderson for the biography, which is due in bookstores next month.
The all-American girl next door look has been in the forefront of fashion for decades. What's new about it is that the girls no longer live next door. In fact, as today's Inside Story shows, the all-American girls no longer are all Americans. Today, the all-American look isn't all-American at all. Guest model Claudia Schiffer is from Germany. Naomi Campbell's English. Paulina Poroskova is Czechoslovakian. And this month's Vogue cover girl, Linda Evangelista, isn't from the U.S. either. She is from Canada. In the past, athletic all-American blondes like Sybil Shepherd, Christy Brinkley, and Cheryl Tiegs dominated the U.S. modeling scene. And the popularity of their look has not totally diminished. 24-year-old Vendella is on the verge of superstardom. She has landed the prestigious Elizabeth Arden Cosmetics account and now earns as much as $15,000 a day. But the American-looking blonde is actually Swedish. She says she came to the States to pursue her career because of the enormous opportunities for fame and fortune.
You can really become a star here, a whole different way than in Europe. Like everybody, every household knows who you are or whatever. That doesn't really happen the same way in Europe.
Let's try some when you are standing.
The opportunities weren't as open for Natasha when she came to this country 5 years ago from Moscow. Glasnost did not exist. And while this 26-year-old is now working a lot, she believes prejudice against Russians impeded her career.
I was suspected all the time that I work for KGB. Many times I cry and said, oh, what am I doing this for? And I don't really need this. But I guess I enjoy the challenge of life. And I love America. It's a great country. It's a land of opportunity.
While not being blonde and blue-eyed is no longer a barrier to modeling success, it hasn't always been that way. Somalian supermodel Iman remembers when she arrived in this country 15 years ago, the blue-eyed blondes were the standard of beauty, so her ultimate success did not come easily.
At the time I came to the United States, I think there was a surge in the fashion business, in the pushing the American-looking girl, the American girl next door. I just happened to fit in a category that didn't exist then, which is exotics.
Even today, it's not always easy for exotic-looking women. When 16-year-old Catherine Muller came to this country 2.5 years ago from Nicaragua, she made a painful discovery.
I didn't understand how come, just because I wasn't blonde or wasn't American, I can do anything. I didn't understand why they didn't give me a chance.
Now, as a measure of how things have changed, Catherine's dark, sensuous look has made her one of the fashion world's rising stars. From strife-torn Nicaragua to the photo studios of New York, her Cinderella story is sometimes hard even for her to believe.
Sometimes I'm scared I'm going to wake up and this is going to be gone, 'cause it is like a dream, actually.
Catherine Muller says she walked much of the way through Central America and Mexico after fleeing her native Nicaragua. She says she entered the United States illegally, but now she has proper documentation to remain in the United States. On our Inside Story tomorrow, LaToya Jackson reveals the dark side of America's musical family.
Not only me, a lot of my brothers and sisters have tried to commit suicide.
Growing up in the Jackson family, our Inside Story tomorrow on Entertainment Tonight.
Calvin Klein dives into the perfume wars next. Designer Calvin Klein, art is imitating life. His new perfume, Escape, is what you might call a sentimental tribute to his wife. The sexy new spots for Calvin Klein's Escape feature a thoroughly modern woman living life to the fullest. Klein says he had a very special modern woman in mind when he designed the perfume. His wife of almost 5 years, Kelly.
Kelly is someone who lives this life. And she's involved, and she's busy, and she's doing a lot of these kinds of things, and going to these places, and we do it together, and this is what Escape is really about. It has become her scent now, and that's always so interesting and special. She is the woman. She is she's the look, and she is that modern woman that I'm aiming for.
Calvin says Kelly was more than just the motivation for this labor of love. She even had a hand in its creation.
We've worked together on fragrance. We've worked together on the design of the bottle. We worked together on the packaging and on the scent. And Kelly's very involved, and she's the inspiration.
The Escape commercials are accompanied by a series of racy magazine ads touting the scent. Although this is rumored to be the biggest launch for any new perfume, Klein says that's not what's important.
How big it is, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I just want it to be, sure, I want it to be successful. But I think I have something that I think modern women will really identify with.
Calvin has said if he and his wife ever have a child, his next perfume will be called Baby.
Tonight, the Heart File shines a spotlight on the private side of Kenny Rogers. He's had gold records, a string of TV movies, and has even published a book of his own photographs. Now Kenny has yet another iron in the fire.
You got to know when to hold up.
The Gambler is one of his all-time hits, but now Kenny Rogers is gambling on something outside the music business. Last week in Florida, he opened the first of what he hopes to be a nationwide chain of fast food restaurants. Kenny Rogers Roasters specializes in chicken.
What did you have, the barbecue?
He had the ribs, I had the barbecue sandwich.
He was mobbed by fans who see Kenny as more of a singing idol than a chicken king. They'd be surprised to learn he's personally involved in everything from the menu to the floor coverings.
It's kind of fun. You know, we came in today. I was here when they first started building this place, and we started describing what we were going to try to do here, and it's fun to come back and see it all put together and functioning, and really it's what's fun is to watch the people enjoy the food.
His partner in all of this is Phyllis George's husband, John Y. Brown, Jr. Back in the 60s, he helped start Kentucky Fried Chicken. This time, they've cooked up a finger-licking recipe that roasts the chicken at 180 degrees.
The fat comes out and the flavor stays in.
And it's healthy fast food. It's a way to stop and have fast food and be able to eat out with the family quickly, but get healthy food.
The plan calls for 10 new restaurants by the end of the year, but Kenny says he won't let the fast food biz get in the way of showbiz.
Actually, what it does is it allows me to eat free in a lot more cities, so there's a benefit to that.
Kenny's fans can order up some takeout food and stay home to watch his new movie, The Gambler 4, which is coming up this fall on NBC. And that's an update from the Heart File.
Movies that could scare up a little business did well at the box office this weekend. The thriller Dead Again was dead first, and Chucky the Doll threatened his way into second place with Child's Play 3. Terminator 2 was third. Hot Shots and Doc Hollywood filled out the rest of the top 5. Now, Sylvester Stallone found global fame with the likes of Rambo and Rocky, and even though another Rock'em Sock'em movie is in the works, what Sly's really in the mood for these days is a different kind of punchline.
What about you, sweetie?
No, Mom, I'm fine. I've had it.
The new comedy Stop or My Mom Will Shoot pits L.A. cop Stallone against his meddling mother, Estelle Getty.
It's the story of a man who thinks he's rather macho, this and that, and he's on top of everything, and then his mother shows up, and he's reduced to this guy with a that's rash. You know, he's like, all of a sudden, he falls apart. Estelle, yeah. Put your teeth back in.
The two stars say they're having a lot of fun on the set, and fortunately, this TV golden girl is good-natured about all of Sly's kidding.
You know, why didn't you ask for a forklift in your contract? I've always enjoyed comedy. I look at life with a comedic eye. I mean, to me, everything is satire. Otherwise, you would just burst.
He will forever be famous for his blockbuster roles playing John Rambo and Rocky Balboa, but Stallone is prepared to try to convince audiences and critics that he can do more than just action films.
I'm going against the tide. There's no question about it. And I think if I don't make the move now, I'm never really going to validate myself in this business and enjoy it. It's that time in my life where I want to do something that's a little bit more adventurous and something that's more in keeping with the way I really perceive life, which is comedic. Are you a Renegade fan? Does anyone know who you are?
His steady girlfriend, Jennifer Flavin, has been by his side during filming. She's undoubtedly very familiar with Sylvester's non-stop joking.
This company did not want to spend money for groupie security patrols, and this is what happened. Groupie security. Come on. I just want to take you are.
What's Rico Suave doing over there? Come on.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is expected to be out sometime later this year.
Comedian Jerry Lewis has wrapped up another record-breaking muscular dystrophy telethon. Celebrity guest stars included actor Jameson Parker, whose 6-year-old daughter has been diagnosed with the disease. Singer Maureen McGovern, whose niece suffers from a neuromuscular condition, told the audience, quote, "If you think muscular dystrophy can't strike your family, think again." Overall, more than $45 million was pledged to help find a cure.
Kids have always found...
Actress Ann Jackson is 65.
LaToya Jackson grew up in America's musical family. Tomorrow, she'll tell us about how life was not always in perfect harmony.
And we're going to end the show this evening with a goodbye to Frank Capra. It's a very special moment from his movie, It's a Wonderful Life. Enjoy it. This evening.
The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your banquet in New York?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town. Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Don't lie to me.
I'm
Frank Capra is a very special moment from his movie It's a Wonderful Life. Enjoy it. We'll see you.
The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your Banford in New York?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town. Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.